Hello, researchers. I'm going to show you a good way, we are going to show you a good way to look for sources for your research. So sources are pieces of information that are going to help you do your research. So some of us started on that already, and the World Wide Web has a lot of information. So these are just some tips on how to find the best information for your research. So I'm going to just type into Google as if I'm doing my research project. I have decided on looking into the problem of arts programs being cut from school. So I'm just going to type in arts programs in schools. And a lot of stuff comes up. So we are very tempted to click on the very first thing that we see, but that doesn't mean that the first thing that comes up is the best. That's not how Google works. Of course, it all comes down to money, but we don't have to go into that. I'm going to click on the first one just because it is the first one. Let's just see what it's like. So it's from U.S. News. So something to keep in mind is you want it to be reliable. So a news source is definitely reliable. And I'm looking at this. It's from 2014. That's pretty recent. I want something to be recent. And the other thing I want is for it to be relevant. So I'm just going to skim the article to see how much information I would get. So I have some chunky paragraphs. Oh, and already I'm here at the bottom with the comments. This is a pretty short article. I'm skimming it. I do see some good statistics and facts, but I don't really like how it's structured, honestly. There's something weird here where there's just, I don't know, it just looks like a bunch of words thrown up on the page, and there's some examples of successful humans that were musicians, but I'm still not wowed by this.
And again, skimming the article, you don't have to read the entire thing word for word to be able to know whether or not this is a reliable or relevant resource.
So let's look at the second one. This one's from the Washington Times. That already makes me like it because that's a newspaper. Usually when you see something like a city name and Times afterwards, it's going to tell you it's a newspaper. Washington Times is something that I would trust. And I like the title of it, Arts Programs in Schools Often in Danger of Being Cut. That shows the problem that I am researching. And I'm looking through it. Okay, I have to click to read more. Oh gosh, and there's a bunch of ads. This is something that kind of makes me not like a source. If it's littered with ads, it makes me feel like I don't trust it that much. This one's a bunch of quotes from people. There's some statistics. I'm kind of iffy on this one. It's longer than the other one. When I actually take time to read it, there's a nice little blurb about how, back in the old days. So I kind of like this one, but I'm not wowed. You want to find a source where you can see it and you're like, oh man, I'm going to get a lot of information from here. This one's from 2009. That's almost 10 years ago, or it's over 10 years ago. So I don't like it. Not over, almost 10 years ago.
And notice that we can gain a lot just by looking at the title of the web page, the date, when did it come out, and the little blurb underneath to see some of the key points.
This one's from the LA Times. So again, when you see Times, it usually means a newspaper, and LA is like Los Angeles. So I'm going to look at this one. Nice big heading, or nice big title. Still pretty short. Again, not wowed. Okay, this one's from Law Street Media. I'm not really sure what that is, but let's see. Okay, school art program, should they be saved? Okay, I like this. It has one of my favorite text features. It's got some headers. So it states the problem, budget cuts. That's why things are being cut. Here's another piece of it. We need to focus on core subjects. So saying we cut art programs because we want to focus on math and reading. Okay, more headers. This one has a lot of information. Oh, there's a nice little Little video in the middle here. What are the
Added
benefits of art education? Improved performance, higher graduation rates. I have another video here. This one is just child development. Okay, this has everything that I want. And then it has even another section. This one is focusing on a solution. So I really like this one. I'm going to keep this as one of my sources. So something I can do, I go up here to this little star, and I'm going to bookmark it. I'm not sure if your Chromebooks have all the same features as my Chromebook, as my laptop does, but I'm just going to save it. You might be able to go in and like make your own folder for your research, but we don't have to worry about that. If not, you can just click done, so that when you're doing your research, you can easily go back to it. So now I found one good source, and so I'll write it down. I want to show you something else you can use as a source. First of all, don't do this. Don't just look at pictures. I'm looking at a lot of y'all's screens when you're doing research, and for some reason I see a bunch of pictures coming up. You're not going to learn anything from a picture. The only thing I can see here that you might get is maybe some graphs on it. So that could help, but like I'm not going to learn anything from this. This is just pictures of some kids playing some stringed instruments. That's pretty neat, but I'm not learning anything. But one thing that we can learn from is videos. So here I'm kind of just getting some information about arts in the schools. I'm not seeing the problem, so I might need to refine my search. So I actually want to put the problem in the search. And here's something from a news source. So this could be something I like. I'm not going to sit here and watch the whole video with y'all, but I can see how long it is. It's from a news show again, so I trust it. So I'm just going to skim it at first just to see what's in it. Actually,
make class sizes smaller for kindergarten.
Okay, so they're describing why they do it, things like that.
And again, that was from a news source, not someone's YouTube channel.
So I'm looking at the other things after seeing fine arts being cut from schools. Will my child? That sounds too personal. What if Trump really does end money for the arts? I don't want to go that route where I'm bringing him into things. So I'm going to click on this one. And I definitely don't like this one because it just looks like some like emo report that some kid did on the same thing that I'm doing, which is a great project that this girl did, but I shouldn't use her as my source. So if I'm watching this, I don't see like this is very artistic. She's very sad because she can't play her piano.
Very dramatic with the black and white.
So maybe I might watch this because it might be interesting, but I don't want to use it as a source for my research paper. So again, you can look through here, you can look through the videos, see things like that. Thinking about refining your search is something important. I didn't click on this news, but that's definitely something that will help you find good sources. So, yeah. Remember to click a little star when you like it. Remember to look at the dates to see how recent it is. Remember to keep in mind what kind of sources you're getting. Is it a news source? Is it some random person's blog? Like here's somebody's blog. I'll look at it and see if I like it, but I don't know if I trust this person.
Think about it like text evidence. What's going to be the strongest and which is best going to support your topic.
Okay, so when you're searching, remember, don't just click on the first thing. You can click on the first thing, but don't click on the first thing and say, ooh, that's my source. You want to go through and you want to find the best source for your research project.